What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Skinny Moose.
And your boy Fat Squirrel.
And that fucking retard man Pondo.
Yes, we got the boy Pondo fucking finally.
What's up, guys?
So, let's kick it off. What made you become a wrestler?
Just childhood. I mean, before WWE was even a thing, before WrestleMania even happened, I lived in Florida, Illinois. An hour and a half from me was St. Louis, Missouri, which had wrestling at the Chase, which was like Bulldog Bob Brown, Bruiser Brody, Abdullah, Dick the Bruiser, those guys. An hour and a half to the south was Angelo Poffo's ICW, which had Leapin' Lanny and Macho Man Randy Savage and and Carson Broomfield, who later became the One Man Gang. Hour and a half to the east was Jerry the King Lawler's CWA, but then it turned into USWA, and they had Bill Dundee, the Sheep Herders, just damn near everybody who got popular later. And then 5 hours to the north was Chicago, that had just about everything. Fucking AWA, WCW, WWE, WWF at the time, and there was a company called Windy City Wrestling that they brought in obscure matches that I liked better than the WCW and the WWF matches. Like they had the first Bam Bam Terry Gordy versus Bam Bam Bigelow. They had Abdullah the Butcher just destroyed this guy, Frank the Tank. They had Bruiser Brody versus John Sword. I'm sorry? Oh, I thought you said something. Anyway,
no, we're just listening to your stories.
Oh, so from childhood, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew this is what I wanted to be. And I didn't want to be no 40-miler that only people in my area knew. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew me. So I think I pretty well accomplished that. Don't you guys think that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
What is wrestling like your 24/7, or do you have an actual shoot job? If you don't mind us asking.
No shoot job, but I should get one. I mean, I was door dashing, I was Ubering, and all that shit. But I was delivering pizzas for 9 years for a place called Pizza King. But they moved to DoorDash, so then I said, "Fuck it, I moved to DoorDash." But if it wasn't for, wrestling is the passion. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. My favorite thing in life is horror movies. You guys probably already knew that before I even said that. But I was in a horror movie with Robert Englund, so that's a dream come true. But wrestling has been June 24th of this year will be 35 years for me for pro wrestling. So I really can't argue all that much about where the passion from horror movies went. It went straight into wrestling.
That explains his brutality in the ring.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, how many horror movies did you play in? I know you played in one or two.
I played in 2001 Maniacs, which when I showed up on the Blu-ray cover next to Robert Englund's left ear, that was a dream come true for anybody. Then a guy named Travis Bowen, he did a movie called Shadows in the Dark, and I did a little thing with that. I was there to sign autographs. He's like, "Hey, you want to be in this movie?" So I did a little bit of that, which probably nobody's ever seen that one. And then Spun, which has Mickey Rourke, Brittany Murphy, all these big stars in it. And then, but they were doing crystal meth and watching wrestling scenes on the TV, and me jumping off the balcony onto Fat Fuck Barrel Boy, that was in the movie. So I was,
Yeah.
and Billy Corgan's also in that movie, but we're about in there about the same amount of time. So that's about all for the movies. And then video games, I was in Backyard Wrestling. Don't try this at home. Backyard Wrestling. There goes the neighborhood. And then later on, Return to Fire Pro. It's not my name. That way they don't have to pay you, but you can tell that it's me. So 3 video games, and I mean
that's one of my questions. How was it being in both Backyard Wrestling games?
surreal, man. Like, I'm just a small town kid from Florida, Illinois, who used to play the shit out of those video games. So to be a part of Xbox and PlayStation back then, I mean, where do you go from there? I mean, everybody's big goal is the figure. Hey, I will know that I'm a professional wrestler when my action figure gets made. Well, I'll probably never get an action figure, but goddamn it, I made it in 3 video games.
Yeah.
I had my own beer in Japan. I mean, I think I've done all right in life.
I'm gonna have to get a hold of Chubby because he's one of our other partners are over there in Japan. I'm gonna have to get him try Pondo's beer or send me some.
Yeah, that shit's way gone. Like, that was back in between 2000 and 2008. They made beers for all the CZW guys over there at the time, and I was lucky enough to be one of them.
Oh, that's cool as fuck. I never even knew that.
Yeah, MMP beer. You can search it. MMP beer. It tastes like they put a bucket under a goat, but other than that, hey, I'm on a beer,
I respect that.
Yeah.
What is your favorite place to visit while you're in Japan?
It's got to be Mr. Danger's Steakhouse, because, dude, when you walk in, of course, there's memorabilia all over the wall, but the motherfucker fixing your steak is Masanaga, Mr. Danger himself. So, not only that, and I know that this might be bias or sounds like I'm making it up, but it is the best steak that I've ever had in my life. I don't know if it's whatever he's marinating in or he's the one who's cooking it. But when I walk in, he's always like, Mr. American Danger Man, So
American Danger Man, fuck yeah.
It's gotta be Mr. Danger Steak. That's my favorite place to visit. But my second favorite place to visit is Ribera. That way you get free jackets. I've owned like 5 of those in my life. Third, in Shibuya, they made a building with a huge Godzilla on it. And Godzilla's like the reason me and my girl are together right now. So I'm going to go to that building, and me and her is going to pray to Godzilla on top of that building. I'm going to call her on FaceTime.
Fuck yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how Mr. Danger Steak, what's Mr. Danger Steak Shop like, but you already answered that.
Oh, he's awesome, man. And here's the thing. Ribera is one thing. I mean, you get the free jacket, but I always make sure when the Americans go over, I take them to Mr. Danger Steak.
We had Mr. Danger and done an interview with him, and he's so chill. And
yeah.
It was really interesting. What's your favorite souvenir from Japan?
I'm a pretty big T-shirt guy, and for the longest time, I couldn't wear their T-shirts because all Japanese people are smaller than us, so even a 4X over there is like an extra large to us. But now, I don't know if you guys knew this. Last year, I was 332 pounds. I've lost 100 pounds. I'm 232 pounds. So now I can wear their damn T-shirts. So
hell yeah,
it's probably souvenir.
Yeah.
Either that or Godzilla merchandise. I always buy Godzilla merchandise before I come home.
I never knew that he was so obsessed with Godzilla until like literally last night when he said he was going to watch it. I knew he was obsessed with horror movies, and I knew he played in 1, but 3, I never knew that either.
Spawn's not really a horror movie. It's more of a drugged out movie, but Shadow in the Woods is supposedly a horror movie. I've never seen it myself, to tell you the truth.
Can't say I have, sir.
Yeah, nobody has.
What was it like to wrestle J.C. Bailey in a circus death match?
So I had seen Mr. Danger Masanaga and Yamakawa do a similar version where there was a scaffolding inside the ring, but I put my brain to work and came up with the 3 tiers of scaffolding. That way you could do 1 bump, 2 bump, and then the big, huge bump at the end. And I asked a couple of people if they would do it with me, and of course, a lot of people didn't want to do that. We was working for a guy who didn't really pay the money, but I knew that that was going to be iconic someday. So finally, I figured out, well, I'll just ask JC. Fuck, he's a big Japanese deathmatch fan. So I asked JC, and he was like, right on, man, let's do it. And that's how that came about. That's how I got to wrestle JC in the circus deathmatch.
So, do you mind if we ask, are you and RSP related? I heard that you were supposed to be RSP's dad.
Well, funny you saying that. No, we're not related, but people keep saying that we look alike, and I don't know if you guys agree with that. If he puts a hat on backwards, he looks a lot like me. And not too long ago, he got on a shoot interview saying, you know, hey, I would say that I look like Pondo, but he's just so fucking fat. I don't look like Pondo. He would say, I still love you, Pondo, but he kept talking about how fat I was. So I made a bet with him from that day on till WrestleMania weekend back in 2020. Whoever lost the most weight from that day would pay the other one $100. And guess what? I beat that motherfucker. So it always teaches you to watch what you say on the internet. It
Yes,
can kick you
sir.
in the ass at any time. That's right.
I always thought that you was his dad. That's one of the biggest things that I've heard in wrestling. I'm like, I really want to know this. I want to squash this one.
Yeah, no relation, but I mean, we look a lot alike, people say.
So, when we had Masada on the channel, he said that Japan back in the day didn't really let their belts out of Japan. Is that still in effect?
Well, so no. They really okay, so let me back up. So 2000 to 2003, some of the CZW guys won belts from Big Japan and brought them home. And of course, something fell forward, fell backwards, whichever way they fell, and the belts didn't return. So for the longest time, no, they didn't want the belts leaving their country. I just won the Big Japan Deathmatch belt end of last year, lost at the beginning of this year, but I think as long as they trust you, they'll let you bring the belts home. But so far, I don't remember. So I was there when Drew Parker took on Matt Tremont, but I don't remember if Drew Parker had the Big Japan belt when he had won it. But going back to that, I won the Big Japan Deathmatch belt, and I'm one of the 3 Americans. It was Abdul the Butcher, Zandig, and your boy Madman Pondo who won that belt.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Out of all the places you have wrestled, where would you say you got the loudest crowd reaction?
So here in America, are you guys familiar with a guy named Mancow in Chicago? He's like a Howard. Yeah, he's like a Howard Stern, but he did this thing called Mancow's Mayhem Weekend, a night or something like that. But what it actually was, it was a Kid Rock, Buckcherry Fuel concert with some of his shit thrown in. And at that time, I was working for the BloodyMidgets.com. And the show ran late getting started. And of course, everybody was anticipating what was going to happen. Well, so me versus Fat Fuck Barrel Boy was the very first match. I was supposed to go out. I was supposed to be a heel, but there was 24,000 sold out people in this arena, Rosemont Horizon. And so when I went through the curtain, they all cheered, and like my little Grinch heart just went, Yeah, I'm a baby face, man. Like I couldn't even heal out. It was fucking awesome. So
Fuck yeah.
I would say that would have to be my biggest crowd reaction ever.
So is that the biggest crowd you've ever fought in front of?
Yeah, 24,000. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's a
Well,
lot.
I say that, but back when Adam Rose had Rosebuds, I did that 3 times, and of course that had to have been more than 20. Well, no, I don't know. Rosemont Horizon, I would say that 24,000 was probably the most sold out.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, would you ever wrestle in Kentucky again?
Yeah, I got my physical. I just haven't got the license, but I had my Kentucky license all last year. Didn't wrestle in Kentucky once, but yeah, man, I'll wrestle anywhere. I don't give a shit.
Fuck yeah, you come back down here. We definitely need a flyer because that's where me and Squirrel were down here in Kentucky. So fuck yeah, I'd love to meet you in person.
Where out in Kentucky? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm about an hour from there.
Oh,
I go to Scarefest every year in Lexington, and I'm a big fan of the cookout, and Lexington has a cookout, and sometimes I'll just drive to Lexington so I can eat the cookout, or I wouldn't even know where the fuck it was, you know?
Fuck yeah, I live like 10 minutes away from cookout. I did Scarefest back in 2017.
Oh, yeah? Well, who's the main star then? And I'll tell you if I was at that one.
There was Kane Holder there, Robert England.
He's always there. Robert England was there.
Mountain Monsters.
I don't know. I've been to so many of them. It's to the point that when I go to these horror conventions, people running the convention see that people take pictures with me, and I always never say no. So that's when they decided, like Horror Hound, I get in free. Days of the Dead, I get in free. Scarefest, I get in free. So I'm a big picture taker. I love taking pictures with celebrities, so I always go. Like this Sunday, Ajax from the Warriors is in Nashville, and I'm going to meet Ajax.
Fuck yes, I love the movie The Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What was your thoughts when you accidentally cut Necro Butcher's arm and no bloods, no guts, IWA Mid-South?
So you're talking about the suplex through the fucking light tube cabinet. So me and Necro was living together at the time, and of course he had to have his arm stitched up, and it was just a terrible thing, and I was so quiet, I was so hurt that had hurt my friend, and finally Necro came over to me and he goes, Pondo, he says, what move was it that we did that my arm got cut? And I said, a suplex. And he goes, okay, so where was my arm at? And I said, it was behind my neck. And he goes, all right, if my arm wasn't there, do you realize that would have went through your neck? Let's just be happy that it was my arm. And you know what? After that, I was like, yeah, he's right. I wouldn't even be here without that arm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm glad. Either way, fucked up, but I'm glad you're with us still, sir.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes. What? Sorry. What was it like being tag team champions with Necro Butcher and JCW on two separate occasions?
Dude, like, so I hate, not hate is a very strong word. Like when I go to WWE live events or AEWs and the fans are wearing those replica belts on their shoulders, it makes me want to challenge them, you know. Hey, who'd you beat? Let's wrestle for that fucking belt right now, you know. That's just me. But all the belts all over the world, and there's a lot of belts. So I would say Big Japan, that's a replica. Not even a replica. I'd say a Big Japan belt is something special. I would say JCW belt is something special. I would say, let's go through them. GCW's belt, ICW's belt. You know, I mean, there are some independent companies that have like, you know, substantial belts, but all these other belts are props. You know, I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to demeanor anybody, but there's let me see how I'm going to say this. There are 6-time champions out there in the independent world that if they left the area that they wrestle in, nobody knows who the fuck they are. So is that belt really something? But my point that I'm trying to get is JCW, people knows JCW. You know, they're like the longest running company. And if you think about all the stars that's ran through their company, they're probably one of the top independents that's been running the longest time. So having their belt, I had their tag belts twice, and I had their championship belt twice. Shit, that's something to die on, you know. I mean, that'll keep your name alive after you pass out.
Actually, I have a question about the heavyweight belt too.
Okay, go ahead.
What was it like winning the heavyweight belt on two separate occasions for JCW?
Well, my very favorite match in life, 2015, Terry Funk for the JCW title versus me, and I beat Terry Funk for the title. What a gentleman! What a fucking professional! What a star!
Yeah.
So that first, I mean, not only winning the JCW belt, but beating Terry Funk for it. Think about that, guys. That's something you can't buy in life. And then I beat Corporal for it. I mean, anything that ICP does for me, I'm so appreciative. So them letting me be the face of their company 4 different occasions, I love that shit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, was you the first deathmatch Juggalo?
Well, okay. There was 2 guys in America. There was 2 guys at ECW, Axel Rotten, and I even hate saying the guy's name, Ian Rotten, and they were the first 2 in America to start doing death matches. They did the barbed wire bat and the Taipei and the no rope barbed wire for ECW. So then, when Ian either got fired or quit, depends on who you talk to. When he was no longer at ECW, I found that man. I went and searched him out, and then I started doing death matches. So in America, I'm number 3 to start doing death matches in America. So yes, I would say that would make me the first Juggalo deathmatch guy that's been out there.
So I thought, fuck yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What was it like to win the Hardcore Cup 2000?
Is that the tag thing? The hardcore. For IWA Mid-South, the King of the Death Matches, you mean? Or the Hardcore Cup? What the hell was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a tournament. It was called Hardcore Cup 2000. It said, I looked it up on Cage Match. It said you had won
2000. Oh, that would be Carmine DeSpirito in Milwaukee. I'm sorry. Yeah, man. Like anytime any of those promoters let me go all the way to the end and be the face for the week or 2 of their company, it's always heartwarming. And yeah, I appreciate every damn one of them. Shout out to Carmine DeSpirito for that.
Hell yeah. What was it like having Terry Funk as a referee when you fought Yoko Miyamoto for the BJW Championship in IWA East Coast?
What a lot of people don't know is after that match, and you can buy the DVD today and you can see, Terry Funk, after that match, gave me his song Desperado. He was like, there's no bigger desperado in professional wrestling than me and you. I'm done with it. Madman Pondo, I want you to have my song Desperado. And he said that with tears in his eyes, real tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
And I did it a couple times, but guys, That's Terry Funk's song, and I stopped doing it. Like, I called him on the phone. I said, Terry, I appreciate you giving me your song, but I can't do it, pal. That's you. So I moved to a different song. He totally understood, but up until uh, the last breath that he took, we stayed pretty constant on the phone. I always called to check on him, and the nurses, because you had to go through a nurse's station to get to Terry's room. The nurses would even say, "Oh, we're so glad you called because Terry always remembers you when you call." Because I don't know if you guys would know it, he was like in the dementia stage there in the last, but so that was always so special to me that the nurses would tell me, "Oh, we're so glad you called. This Terry knows who you are." So I must have made a lasting impression on that man. Me and Miyamoto, we just talked about that. I used to think that Terry Funk, just like McFoley, he said the same story. I used to think Terry Funk had the best punches in the world until he was punching me and Miyamoto, and his punches are real. So yeah, they look fucking awesome. So yeah, me and Miyamoto just talked about that the last time we was in Japan together.
Would you say Terry Funk passed you the torch?
He passed me the song. There is no torch from Terry Funk. Terry Funk was his own fucking entity, guys. Like, if you go back and you watch some of his promos, if you go back and you watch some of his matches, and I'm talking about in Japan, I'm talking about in Puerto Rico, I'm talking about, Terry Funk was the fucking man. So, no, he didn't pass me a torch. He was just a really good friend who would mention my name when they would say, "Hey, do you want to wrestle?" He would say, "Yeah, how about that Pondo guy?" So, yeah, I appreciate Terry Funk. Rest in peace.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yes.
What advice would you give someone breaking into the business?
So, it's 2024, and when somebody tells me they're going to start wrestling, I always tell them this joke, and I tell them to remember this joke until they get their name out there. What is the difference between a large supreme pizza and a professional wrestler? A large supreme pizza can feed a family of 4. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is keep your shoot jobs. Don't think to yourself that professional wrestling is just going to start taking care of you. It doesn't owe you anything, and you're working to get your name out there where people want to start helping you pay your bills with professional wrestling, but it doesn't happen right away. So yeah, that's always my because I've known guys who have quit their jobs to go to wrestling matches. I've known guys who didn't take their scholarship from college so they could go be a professional wrestler. It's just not. It's just not reality, guys. Like I know we all watch WWE and now we watch AEW and we think, hell yeah, we're all gonna go there. A lot of us don't go there. I never wanted to go there. I'm not, and I mean, this is another subject, but you get these guys all the time that say, "Oh, I never wanted WWE," knowing damn well they did. But I'm telling you two and everybody who watches your thing, I never wanted WWE. My dream was always Japan, and in April I go for number 47 air flight over there. So I think in my wrestling world I've succeeded what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Again.
So, where and how did you come up with the idea for the saw bat and the stop sign?
Have you ever played the game Dead Island?
Yeah, Dead Island. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you put things together to make weapons to go against the zombies. One of those weapons was a saw blade and a bat. And I went to Joey Terrifine's tournament, Slave of the Deathmatch, in Denver, Colorado, and boom, laying there was one of those saw bats, but they had a screw in the saw, on the outside of the bat. They had a screw to where the saw bat wouldn't spin, but I wanted the saw bat to spin. So I asked that guy if I could have it, and of course, because I used it in the tournament, he wanted to keep it. He had me autograph it. I totally understand that. When I got back to Louisville, Kentucky, I called my buddy Fred Ferguson and said, "Hey, man, this is what I use, and this is what I wanted to do." And Fred asked me if I had one of those wooden bats. I said, "Yeah, I got one laying right here in front of me." He goes, "Bring it over. I got a saw blade right now." 2 a.m. in the fucking morning, we're like sawing into this bat, making all types of noises. But by the night I got home and got off that airplane, and he invited me out to his house, I had a saw bat, and that's how that all came about.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Cool. What was it like to be inducted into the GCW Deathmatch Hall of Fame?
Fucking legendary, man. Like GCW. Wait, did you say JC or GC?
GCW.
GCW. Yeah, I'm in the JCW and the GCW one, but the GCW Hall of Fame, when Brett got a hold of me, Brett will announce a show on the internet, and they'll start buying tickets before they even know what the matches are. So that's how big that company is right now. So to be inducted, I got that award at my house. It's on my wall. So that was pretty special to me.
So how has it been inducted into the JCW Hall of Fame too?
Violent J is the one who inducted me, and it was in the ring. And of course, after I got my award and I held it in the air, and all the Juggalos are chanting "Family, family." I mean, it's fucking special, man. It's so special. Yeah.
So, what is your worst injury or major one? I can name off a couple, like 2 or 3. The pencil incident's one for sure.
That's fucking terrible.
When you had that scissor incident with Ian Rotten.
That one was no big deal. What's the other one that you thought?
The forehead scene with Ian with the scissors. That was pretty.
No big deal. So yes, you are right. You are right about the pencils. That was the dumbest fucking idea I ever had. I will never do that again. And then I fractured my skull back here, and that was before I had money. So instead of going to the doctor and getting it sewed shut, I super glued it, and I didn't get it all the way filled, and had air going into my brain. That was pretty bad. And 54 years of age, and 54, I say. Let's see, 52 years of age, and 32 years of professional wrestling. All that crazy shit that you saw that I did, I had never spent the night in the hospital until Planet Death. Matthew Justice jumped off a second story balcony, and the door that he came down on, the barrels, he had the barrels too close underneath, so he put a knee in my rib, and it broke 3 and 4. And 4 not only poked a hole, but it ripped a hole in my lung, causing it to collapse. And even after that, I went back to the ring and did another 7 minutes with swinging stop signs and sledgehammers and picking up Matthew Justice. So all of that puts me in the bad motherfuckers club for the rest of my life, I would say.
That fucking Jesus.
That's probably the 3 worst that comes to mind.
Yeah, I heard a little, like everybody on every podcast wants to ask you about the pencil incident. And I'm like,
so bad.
I'm going to ask something different that Pondo ain't covered yet, and something I bet you, I was like, I looked at Brian, I looked at Squirrel, I was like, I bet he's tired of hearing, let's talk about this pencil incident. I bet he's tired of repeating himself.
Electra, come here real quick. So, I'll do, since you want something different on yours, I will have her point out.
Are we doing the... Oh, no.
Point out the pencil marks.
All right.
Little finger.
So we got one right here. It's really big.
The shoulder over here. More.
Yeah. That's like the really big, scary one right there. I don't see any ones on this shoulder here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like they might have healed up.
I doubt it. But anyway, yeah. It's never gonna leave my body. They're gonna stay in there for the rest of my life.
Jesus.
And and I know you don't want to talk about it, but the thing about that one is it got down in my bloodstream.
Speak on it if that's what you want to do. Go ahead, speak on it.
It got down in my bloodstream and fucked me up for 6 days. That's why 2 wrestlers that I know was gonna try and redo that spot, and I called them both. I'm like, look, I know you want to do what I did, but don't do that one. That was just a dumb thing on my fucking part. And I don't want anybody to have to go through what I did those 6 days.
Wasn't it Chondo and No Diamond Cutter?
Yes. I called them both on the phone and said, guys, don't imitate me on that one. I was a dumbass. Don't do that one.
Yeah, you was like, I'm not sure whose interview it was. I think it was like Spooky Dust or something. He was like, I don't give a fuck about one-upping me. I just don't want you to do it in general because the pain and the suffering. And
it was bad, guys. That was a bad one.
Yeah, you was... I seen that and I was like, it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Just how big was your rivalry with Ian Rotten? It went on for years.
Well, when IWA started, the first main event of all the shows for the first 3 months, every Tuesday at that Kmart building was me and Ian. It pains me that me and him are in the state that we are today. I did everything that I could for IWA Mid-South to put their name on the map. I mean, you can go through countless videotapes. You can go through countless matches that I did for IWA Mid-South, killing my body, scarring myself everywhere. And it just sucks that in the end, I didn't want to work for him anymore. And an incident happened where he got in the ring and said some shit that he shouldn't have. Let me tell you, I know a lot of shitty things that Ian Rotten did over the years. I mean, a lot of shitty things. And just like you guys, a podcast would ask me, hey, will you come on and talk shit about Ian Rotten? Fans would ask me, hey, what's a shitty thing Ian did? Wrestlers would say, hey, what's a shitty thing? And you can ask every damn wrestler back then that I would never talk bad about Ian Rotten back in the day because there would be no Madman Pondo today without Ian's, taking me all those places and all that shit. But for him to get in the ring over a total situation that he had nothing to do with and say what he said about me, I don't want to repeat it because it cost me a couple of bookings, but it was just the biggest bullshit thing ever, I mean, he always says, hey, how about how much I helped you? Well, motherfucker, how about how much I helped you?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, are you talking about the rivalry of wrestling? Like, I'm just saying, yeah, I probably wrestled Ian Rotten more than I have anybody else in my life. And they were always brutal. People always talked about them afterwards. But then to just be knocked down like a piece of trash over one situation, it just not what I wanted to do. And now we just don't even talk to each other. I was third row at WWE. The referee Daphne got me tickets, and Ian was front row off to the side. Seth Rollins gets him tickets, and we don't even talk. Like I just can't talk to the man, and that just sucks.
That's understandable. Yeah, if you want to speak on anything, just let us know.
I hear you, man. No, I'm all good so far. It's all good.
Go ahead, Squirrel.
What? Sorry. What was it like to win the unbelievable tag tournament 4 times in a row?
I'm so sorry. What is the unbelievable tag team tournament? What is that? I'm so sorry, man. Like, people come at me with all these call letters, and I don't know where I've been.
That's understandable.
I was at Super Class 3. I can't tell you one damn match except for Jerry King Lawler versus Kerry Von Erich. Like, shit just leaves you after a while. The unbelievable tag team champs.
Plus, he's 1,320 something matches or more.
It's got to be way more than that.
And that ain't including how many that ain't on Cage Match and ain't all over,
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to help you out, buddy, but I don't even remember what the hell that is. The unbelievable tag team.
What promotion's that for, Squirrel?
I want to say, I think it's in Japan, maybe, or maybe not. I might be wrong, but I was on Cage Match and it said you had won it.
But let me go ahead and answer your question without even knowing. Let me answer your question without even knowing. Anybody, just like I said before, anybody who gives me the opportunity to win their belt and be their champ is heartwarming, and I mean, something that did I think at age 54 I would win the Big Japan Deathmatch Championship belt? Hell no. What a fucking honor. Like, I was managed by Violent J in Japan, in Corrigan Hall, beat Ishikawa for the belt. I mean, it's just all surreal, Small town kid, Florida, Illinois.
That's going to be a fucking memory that lasts for a lifetime. Even when Pondo retires, which, no offense, but I don't see Pondo retiring. He's probably going to die in that ring. I'm sorry.
Me and Gypsy Joe. I'm trying to go for the Gypsy Joe longevity of professional wrestling.
Oh, fuck. So,
yeah.
What was it like being on Jerry Springer, and was the feud between you and Too Tough Tony real?
No. That was my girlfriend at the time, and we said she was dating Tony, but then she left us both for Fat Fuck Barrel Boy or Mitch Page.
Mitch Page.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, think about that, guys. If you tell people, yeah, I used to hang out at the Jerry Springer show, people want to know what the fuck you're talking about. So it was very impressive to me. So I was on the show twice, and after the second time, they said, do you know any crazy people? And I'm like, I'm a professional wrestler. I know 100 crazy people. So I just started getting my friends booked on the Jerry Springer show, and then they was giving me like $100 a person. So I was making pretty good money out of the Jerry Springer show. And then I just got tired of it because this is when I was going back to Japan, so I really didn't need their money. And Jerry Springer show, if they needed somebody at 4 a.m, they expected you to find somebody at 4 a.m, and it just got old to me after a while. I'm like, guys, I don't want to do it no more. And then, but I mean, through that, I met Ron Jeremy, I met Butterbean, Odorous Youngus, just different people that I was allowed to go. So at Jerry Springer show, they have like 5 green rooms. I was allowed to go from green room to green room just because they knew that I wasn't gonna spill the beans, that the show was bullshit and stuff like that. I mean, I had a good time at the Jerry Springer show.
Fuck yeah. Never realized that it was actually scripted, though.
You didn't know it was scripted?
No, I've watched Jerry Springer since I was young.
So here's the thing. Not all of them were scripted. There were some real stories, but your moral majority of your stories were scripted.
Really?
Yeah.
My wife, she watches that damn shit. She's watched all of them, and I'm like, I ain't watched that shit since I was a kid. I'm not going back watching that shit unless I get it uncensored.
I hear
Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not going to watch something that gets blurred out, and I've done seen it when I was younger. Fuck it. I want to see the real deal now. Go ahead, Squirrel.
Sorry. What was it like to wrestle Jun Kasai in the East Coast Masters of Pain tournament?
So when I wrestled Jun Kasai before he had a scar on his damn body for Big Japan, and when the Masters of Pain, the first Masters of Pain, was getting ready to happen, there was nobody that we even had on our mind to be in that tournament than Jun Kasai. We filled people in after Jun Kasai. Well, I say that. Me, and then Jun Kasai, and then we filled in guys after that. So shout out to Jun Kasai for coming over and being so cool. And then he wrote about me in his book, which is awesome. And the last time I was in Japan, we took a picture together. So, you know, he still thinks about me. I still think about him. That's awesome.
So, if we don't mind me asking, why did you stop running East Coast?
So, you guys seen all the old DVDs from IW East Coast where we were drawing 250, 300, 400 people on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, right? So, it came to the point where I was moving to Louisville, Kentucky. So I got all the guys together. There was a team called the 108 Dragon Ninjas, and they were the ones helping out with IWA East Coast. And I'm not saying that they wasn't a help. There was a lot of help, but the reason we was drawing a lot of those people was me and my wife at the time, we were the ones out there flying. I would drive to the radio stations and talk on the radio about the matches coming. If there was a festival in town, we would get the little flyers and hand them out at the festival, you know, and there was a process of why we was drawing that many people. So I got them all together and told them what I was doing, and they all said, hell yeah, man, we're on board. We're all going to do that. Well, it didn't take a mad scientist to figure out that wasn't happening, because when I came back for the next show, there was 200 people. Then I came back, there was 150 people. Then the third time was a J.C. Bailey memorial match where I let Joe Bailey, his dad, run the door. That way he knew all the money was going to the Bailey family, and we only drew 50 people. So that's when I decided I wasn't going to have a DVD sale. I wasn't going to blame the fans for not coming. I just shut the fucker down, you know, and so IWA East Coast didn't run for about 2 years, and then two guys, Scott Milan and Michael Tawney, better known as Fat Ton, called me on the phone and said, hey, man, we're going to start doing wrestling shows. Can we use the IWA East Coast name? I said, go for it, guys. It's all yours. And they said, well, we still want you to run our locker room. Is that cool? I said, yeah, man, I'll run your locker room. So all the way from the first show after they took over, all the way there, I had like this knot in my throat, like, man, I can't believe I gave my fucking company away. But then after that show, I got paid, and I was like, why the fuck did I wait so long? I should have gave this damn company away a long time ago. And so it's been that way ever since. But yeah, just because I want IWA East Coast, if it was going to shut down, to go out on top, not mediocre, down, down, down. So after 3 shows of down, 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 I said, let's shut this fucker down. Let's stop.
Fuck yeah. I understand that. How was it facing John Rare and IWA Deep Sea Deathmatch?
If you can see John Rare's first thing, they told me to get heat from the crowd, and I'm trying to get heat from the crowd, and I turn around, and John Rare slaps the taste out of my mouth. That was a real slap. So I act like I was going to lock up with him, and I kicked him in the stomach, and I slapped the fuck out of that guy. And when we got in the back, he was like, I know why you did that. And I'm like, I know why I did that too. But, nah, man, it was all good. Like, I have no problem wrestling anybody. I just like getting in the ring. I like making the fans happy. So you put them in the 4 corners, I'll get in there with them. I don't care.
Okay, we need to get you back in Carnage Cup.
Sounds good.
Carnage
Me
Cup
and Kevin
14.
Brennan still talk every once in a while. Like he was doing them slap boxing things at shows, and he put Freight Train in one, and I kind of jumped on him. I'm like, should Freight Train really have been in one of those, you know? So, but we still talk all the time. So yeah, it's not out of the woods that I would ever come back to a Carnage Cup.
Oh fuck!
What was it like to win the IWA Mid-South King of the Deathmatch Tournament 3?
Here we go again. Surreal. Like, anytime somebody, I'm going to say this answer again. Anytime somebody makes me their face of their company for that tournament, and if you remember back when 2003 King of the Deathmatch was going, there wasn't that many tournaments. Now every deathmatch company has a tournament. So that made that one even more special. And then when I hear all the time 2003 was my favorite King of the Deathmatch, I was the winner of that. So that impresses the fuck out of me even more.
Oh, but what's your hobbies out of the ring?
Horror movies, big time horror movies. I love amusement parks. I'm a frequent amusement park goer. I love Universal. I love Disney. I love, well, this year, since I was there for a while, I couldn't get on some of the roller coasters because the safety bar wouldn't come down. But I just went to Universal. There was a ride. There's a Harry Potter ride that I rode one time back when I was 230 some odd pounds, but then I got fat again and got kicked off that ride 4 times. Well, this year I got to ride that ride again. So now I'm ready to go to Cedar Point, and they have 11 roller coasters. I'm ready. I'm fucking ready.
Fuck yeah! You ever been?
I love demolition derbies. I love kung fu movies. I don't know, man. Like I'm pretty easygoing.
You ever been to a music park over there in Japan?
I have, yeah. It's called Fuji-Q Land. It's on Mount Fuji, and some of the best roller coasters I've rode. They had a 45-minute haunted house to walk through. It was awesome.
Fuck yeah! What's your favorite horror movie?
It had to be Mother's Day. It's a trauma film, and trauma is an acquired taste. I get it, but there's a movie called Mother's Day that's got these 2 brothers in there. Ike and Adley. That's mine. It's the one that I watch the most, so it has to be my favorite one.
Do you have a favorite slasher?
Probably Art the Clown right now. Like
Art the Clown. Fuck
it was Leatherface for the longest time, but man, that Art the Clown is a vicious fuck. If he can't stab you, he'll pull out a gun and fucking shoot you. I mean, that's just brutal.
God, that fucking dude is fucking off the wall.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the 3rd one. It's coming out this year.
I'm gonna tell you a secret about the 2nd one. If you are watching the credits and after the Chris Jericho cutscene, if you look off to the right, it'll say Indigo Friends. I gave to their Indigo. So when it says Indigo Friends, follow the alphabetical order. It'll say Kevin Kennedy. That's me. I'm in the credits of Terrifier 2.
Fuck yeah, that's amazing. I have seen your name. I just never really, I'd mostly go by y'all's wrestling names and not y'all's shoot names because, like, it fucks me up, like, to call y'all by y'all's real name.
It fucks me up. Like, sometimes when they say, hey, Kevin, I don't know they're talking to me,
Like, I talk, and, like, Masada's got his real name on Facebook. And when I see something he shares, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, oh, Masada. And I'm like, I gotta go by y'all's wrestling names. I cannot go by y'all's fucking shoot names.
No problem.
Can we get details on the scissor incident? CZW, bad blood. Did he need stitches? If so, how many? And was it
he got 24 across his forehead, and I got 11 in my arm. And basically, we wanted to get jobs at CZW, and Hat Guy from ECW, the guy that would be on out in the crowd, he had the what is it? A fucking a woven hat, not what I'm talking about. He had the Hawaiian shirt and the woven hat. Well, he was sitting out at CZW, and we decided that if we can get a reaction out of that guy, we'll get jobs at CZW. Well, we not only got a reaction, that dude almost puked. Therefore, yes, I got a job at CZW.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
The guy that come in and defended you, or like come to your aid, or whatever you want to call it, that was Lobo, wasn't it?
Was that when Ian and Axel both was beating me up afterwards?
Yeah, they kind of like jumped you afterwards.
Probably was Lobo. Shit, I
couldn't tell who that was. It kind of looked like Lobo, but I wanted to make sure.
Probably was.
I know you traveled to Japan 36, 37 times, but besides Japan,
47.
have you wrestled anywhere else internationally?
Have I wrestled anywhere else internationally? Japan, Canada, Germany, England, Australia, and Mexico. All death matches. Ooh. All did death matches in all those countries.
I told you he's been up there towards Canada.
I've been to Canada a lot. Because you can drive over to that one,
Yeah. When you fought Shlak for the first time and already had broken ribs, did Shlak break your ribs or make them worse?
No. Shlak was, so that was for Anna Fight Underground. That was on my birthday. And Shlak was like, all right, so how am I putting you over? I said, no way, pal. I'm not beating the #1 deathmatch guy in America. That's all you. So, no, Shlak is a fucking good dude, man. Like,
I love Shlak.
He looks like he could rip your arm off and beat you with it, but if you ever just have a conversation with him, you'll realize he's a good guy.
Fuck yes. So, would you say you're in the prime of your career now that you've went through all your weight loss or whatever you want to call it, and I would say that you're in your prime. I mean, that's just me.
I would say I'm having an easier time at things, but when I was in the prime, there was no social media like there is today. Like you can search Masada stabs a man in the head with a fucking knife, and something will come up on YouTube. But back in the day, the social media was magazines and videotapes from tape trading. And, I would get these people coming to me saying, hey, man, I got this videotape that I traded from blah, 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 and I saw you do da-da-da-da-da. That's what we had back in the day. But I would say that was probably my prime back then, because without that, I wouldn't be on this podcast with you guys. Nobody would know who the fuck I was.
Understandable.
What What was it like to wrestle Danny Havoc in a Panes of Glass death match at the IWA East Coast Masters of Pain 2007?
Danny Havoc was probably one of the funniest guys I knew, and always had jokes, always had funny stories, but was very, very, had a lot of wisdom, helped guys. It's funny. So for that JCW Hall of Fame thing, I had no idea why this was said, but Danny, I was sitting by the back wall, and Danny come over and said, "Pondo, I just wanted you to know, thank you for paving the way for everybody." And I was like, "Oh no, man, you done a lot of shit on your own." And he was like, "Yeah, but I just want you to know that I appreciate you, and I just want to thank you for helping so many and paving the way for a lot of us guys." And then shortly after that, we all know what happened. I don't know if that's why he wanted to tell me that at that point, but I would like to think that that was his way of saying, "Hey, man, thank you and goodbye," in a way. Not trying to be cruel or sick, but I was after that happened, like that was my main thought of, oh shit. I wonder if that's why he was telling me that at that time.
Yeah, you, Necro, Danny Havoc. I mean, a lot of y'all paved the way for us younger fans and us younger generation. Like, Squirrel's older than me, but I'm 24, and like I'm all about Pondo, and my wife knows that. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get me a Pondo shirt, a Pondo hoodie, and after this interview, I'll have to go get her because she's a Pondo fan. My kids are a Pondo fan. I'm like,
hell yeah.
My daughter, we was watching. She watched you versus Chuck Stein over in Horse Lane. I'm like, you like Pondo? And she's 4 months old, and she's all into Pondo. Like, and my uncle's like, she's a baby. She likes anything. I'm like, watch her. And he was like, damn, she's all into Pondo. I'm like, it's the living legend.
Chuck Stein's gonna be something someday. You guys step back and watch. He's a brave, nice dude, man.
I love Chuck Stein. Do you feel like there's anything in the wrestling world that you haven't done?
It's why I keep going. So I want to pass away. I want people to still remember my name. So if I would have stopped wrestling 5 years ago, I wouldn't have done a speech in between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial for ICP. If I would have stopped wrestling 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been the Big Japan Deathmatch champion. So, not that anything that comes to mind that there's nothing that I haven't done in the wrestling business, but I'm sure something is going to come again. You know, I mean, things just keep happening to me. Good things keep coming my way. So let's keep our fingers crossed that I haven't done the last cool thing with professional wrestling yet.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Squirrel.
What was it like to face Takeda in Japan?
It was me and Necro versus Takeda, and fuck, I can't remember his partner's name, the Lever Boys or some shit like that. But Takeda kept telling me I was a legend, and I'm like, motherfucker, you don't realize just how popular you are, or you wouldn't keep saying that. But everything was cool. Like him and Necro did a lot of stuff more than I did, but yeah, I mean, Takeda's cool.
Fuck yes. Is there anyone that you would like to call out?
Call out as
like
shoot on? Oh, to
or
wrestle.
Shoot on. It don't really matter.
Nah, I don't like that shooting out on people. But I'd like to wrestle PCO.
Ooh.
I would like to wrestle. Shit, man. Dr. Redacted in a single. Trying to think here. I like to wrestle Hardcore Heater in a single sometime.
Ooh.
You know, the one person that I really wanted to wrestle was Matt Cardona. And Matt Cardona had that thing where he was going through King of the Death matches, and I told myself, you know what? I'm going to help that guy. I was 2003 King of the Death match winner. I'm going to let Matt Cardona beat me. That way he can further his story of taking out the Kings of the Death matches. And we had a match scheduled in August, and we were talking. He didn't know that it was me. He was wrestling in August, and then when he found out it was, he like didn't talk to me anymore, and he went down this hallway and he got on his phone, and next thing I know, the promoter that we was booked for said, "Hey man, I'm sorry, but Cardona's manager just wrote me and said that they wasn't expecting a Madman Pondo match, and if they can't put Matt with somebody else, he's probably not going to show." So not only did I not get to wrestle Matt Cardona, they took me off that show where Matt Cardona would show up, and then he no-showed them. So for no reason, I got knocked out of a booking. But I don't know what Matt Cardona thought that I would do that was gonna fuck him up so bad. I mean, you know, me and his wife Chelsea are great friends, and I don't know. I mean, I'm just not that rough a guy. You know, I'm a smart deathmatch guy, and I would have treated Matt Cardona with respect. And now I've been in the same locker room with him twice, and I can't even talk to the motherfucker. You know, which sucks because I'm a big LGN collector. He's a big LGN collector. You know, and I don't know. But yeah, Matt Cardona would probably be the number one on the list someday if he ever figures out that I'm not out to kill anybody.
I need you versus Jimmy Chondo Lion.
I wrestled Jimmy. I wrestled Jimmy at H2O before.
That I don't have it written down, but I gotta have a story with you and Shane Mercer when I know it ain't funny, but when Mercer threw Chondo. And we was like, squirrel, like, what the hell is going on with Pondo? What's up with this? This is about to be a storyline.
What, me beating up Chondo?
Yeah, and then you smacked the shit out of him with your stop sign. We're like, this is the motherfucking original.
Well, that was the plan. Like, me and Shane was willing to drive back and forth to H2O, but it wound up just being a one-off, and then so all that stuff that we didn't really turn into anything. But if you remember, Low Life Louie came in and got us off of Chondo, and now for Shlak show April 4th in New Jersey, Eat the Turnbuckle show, it's me versus it's a deathmatch battle royal with like 12 guys in it, and there's only one match on the show, and it's me versus Low Life Louie. So something did come out of it, but yeah, that was what the whole heel turn was going to be. It was going to be me and Shane, and we was going to drive back and forth. Just things didn't work out that way.
Damn it.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you power drive Nate Webb from the middle rope through a table in the King of the Deathmatches 3 match?
Loved it. Loved every minute of that. Me and Nate Webb, we're still friends to this day, and we still talk about the matches that we had. He is able to balance things on his chin or on his forehead, and I had him in the ring. We wrestled each other, but I had him balance a barbed wire bat on his forehead, and I kicked him in the balls. And we talk about that a lot because I was just trying to mess him up, you know, not mess him up bad, but
fucking amazing. What was it like being slammed onto a bike in TOD16 by Tremont?
That was my idea, actually, because you know, I mean, Matt was taking care of me. He let me do the bowling ball spot. He let me do the the cinder block spot. So I thought, well, let's end this with a bang. And there was a bicycle back there, and I thought, what would be a vicious way to end this match? Well, on the pedals of them on that bike would be a vicious way. So that's why we did that.
That was definitely worth it. That was definitely vicious.
Yeah. Out of all the tournaments you have participated in, which one would you say is your favorite?
You know what? I didn't participate in it, but this last Masters of Pain that we did, and of course I was the ring announcer or the coordinator, whatever you want to call it, but we had 8 of the best deathmatch guys at the time. It started out with Shane and Shlak, then it went to John Wayne Murdoch and Akira, then Jimmy Lloyd and Brandon Graver, and then Alex Cologne took on Nolan Edwards, and everybody was saying, "Oh, Slak's going all the way, John Wayne's going all the way, Graver's going all the way." The 4 that everybody said was going on the way got eliminated first. And it came down to Akira and Nolan Edwards because I knew that those guys would bust their ass to make that match fucking kick ass. And they did great. So when the people were entering for the tournament, we had the barbed wire ropes set up, so everybody thought the first match was going to be a barbed wire ropes match. But then we sent everybody out back, and we had an extreme backyard wrestling match with the car and them guys going through windshields and windows, and probably that was my favorite tournament, and I wasn't even in it. I was just the coordinator of it.
I can't find this match anywhere. But I looked it up, and I seen that you did face Bryant Woods. Is that right?
Bryant Woods, yes. That was a tournament in North Carolina, South Carolina. The Mike Levy company. I can't remember what the hell that was called. Mike Levy was even in that tournament too. But yeah, me and Bryant Woods, we wrestled each other.
Yeah, I was going to, write a question or two down from it, but I can't find that shit anywhere. It's not on YouTube. It's not on Title Match, IWTV. It's not even on.
That was the last time I got to talk to Spider Boudreaux. He was in that tournament as well.
Oh fuck. And then I have my last question. In your opinion, whose rival was bigger, yours and Necro Butchers or yours and Toby Klein's?
Me and Necro, we're still just for the last gathering of the Juggalos, Necro. It was me and Necro took on Mosh Pit Mike and Chewy Martinez, and Necro turned on me. So for the next gathering, it's me versus Necro. So I would say it would have to be me and Necro. Although we're tag in Japan and all that, but
I thought it was going to be you and Toby Klein. Seriously.
I mean, me and Toby did wrestle a bunch, but not as many times as me and Necro.
Jesus. Yeah, wasn't. I might have get you too. It might have been Necro, but didn't Toby Klein throw the VCR and bust you in the head?
Nope, that was the Necro.
That was the Necro. I knew it was to one of y'all two.
Yeah.
What ain't you two done in the wrestling world, though?
There's a lot, like a headlock or a suplex. We ain't done that shit. That was a joke, guys. That was a joke.
I'm over here making sure that that's none of my questions.
I have a fan question.
All right.
Being that you're a Juggalo, what is your favorite flavor of Faygo?
It would have to be candy, cotton candy, because I don't know if you guys have tried that, and I don't know how they did this, but that shit tastes just like cotton candy. And then people was saying the firework is really good, and I tried it. I don't like it as much as I do as the candy apple. But I will say being on stage with ICP tour after tour, I've probably tasted more Diet Faygo Cola than I've ever wanted to, just because that's what they throw the most of.
The other day I had the orange cream. It was the orange creamsicle Faygo.
I didn't even know they had
awesome.
that. Since my surgery, I can't have soda anymore, but I would definitely take a drink or two of that.
Yeah, like you mentioned that, and ain't it you can't eat certain foods anymore?
Yeah, I can't eat bread or rice. Fucking sucks. I got the gastric sleeve, but I was 332 pounds and now I'm 231 pounds. So it's got its pros and cons, you know. But
is that like a lifetime thing, or?
Yeah. My stomach was this big. Now it's only this big.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I never would have. That's mind blowing.
I'm mind blown by how much weight I've lost, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I had that surgery October 17th, and here it is today, and I've lost 100 pounds.
Of 2023?
2023. Yes, October 17th, 2023.
Damn. That is amazing.
I'll tell you this. I had my surgery on October 17th, and then I wrestled October 20th and 21. So, again, that puts me in the Bad Motherfuckers Club.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you got any questions for us?
Can I pitch a couple of things?
Go ahead.
So, I wrote a book. Well, John Cosper wrote the book.
That's one of my fucking questions. I missed.
John Cosper wrote the book, but I told him the stories. It's called Memoirs of a Madman. If you want to pick up a copy, you can go to Amazon.com. But if you want an autographed copy, you can go to EatSleepWrestle.com, and John Cosper will get you that. And then if you bring it to one of the shows where I bled at, I will give it the old bloody thumbprint on the first page. Those guys with the cards stole that idea off me. I don't give a fuck what they say. And then also, if you want a Madman Pondo t-shirt, like Mouse mentioned, Corey Higdon started a web page for all deathmatch wrestlers, and it's deathmatchworldwide.com. Deathmatchworldwide.com. You can find my t-shirts, Masada's t-shirts, John Wayne Murdoch's, any deathmatch worker out there. You can probably find a t-shirt or two on that website.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and say whatever you want to. Tell stories. You know, it's whatever you want to say, sir.
I'm good if you guys are good. What, you guys got any more things you want to know about?
No, I definitely need a part 2 with you, though.
No problem. You guys just write me whenever, and we'll get this going again.